Things are starting to get a little bit interesting out there, y'all. We are 4 episodes in, and finally we're starting to see some real competition in the game. There seemed to be a lot going on in this leg of the race, including some crazy performances and some unfortunate prejudices that we will get to in a moment. But before I begin, of course, I'm going to ask if you would please hit that subscribe button below so that you can stay tuned as we continue with this season. Now, let's get started. So this episode is going to kick off in Budapest, Hungary, and right off the bat, we have a little bit of train drama once again as people start to strategize to figure out which is the best route to go down. There really seemed to be 2 main options. One was just one long, continuous overnight train ride, which included a bed and everything so that people would have an opportunity to rest. But the thing with that is that it actually arrived 1 hour later than the other option. And option 2 would have gotten the players there in a shorter amount of time, but it looked like there were at least 3 different stops or transfers that they had to make throughout, so that seemed like it was going to be just a little bit more of a stressful trip overall. Now, if it were me making the decision, I think I would probably choose the one longer continuous ride for a few reasons. One, not only does it give you a chance to just rest up and sleep in general, but 2, it also just reduces the chance of you getting lost or a train getting delayed or you just missing out on your transfer, especially seeing what everybody had to go through during that last leg when they all got off on the wrong stop and it cost them a ton of time. I would probably just be a little bit wary of that. So even though that did not end up being the quickest move at all, it looked like the people that chose the quicker option with multiple stops were absolutely freezing and miserable the entire night, so there's that as well. So when the players all arrive in Budapest, their first stop is a bathhouse, and not the freaky type of bathhouse, all right? There they must find the king in the pool and get a chess piece from them, which we see Tucker and Eric are able to do super duper quickly and are able to just immediately land themselves in the lead. And at this point, I'm starting to get pretty excited for the episode because it looks like, the competition is starting to ramp up a lot, and it looks like that train wreck alliance isn't just going to be in the lead once again for the entire show. So since Tucker and Eric are in the lead at this point, they are able to complete the fast forward first, which is just like this mini game that allows you to skip right on over to the very end at the pit stop. The thing they accidentally tried to do last leg, but they were sent right on back. But for this one, they have to solve this pre-rigged Rubik's Cube type of thing in under 7 seconds, which they are eventually able to get done. Now, personally, I've never really given a Rubik's Cube an honest, fair chance, you know what I mean? So I have no idea how I would do in something like this. But it looks like Tucker and Eric are able to complete this pretty fast. I wish they would have shown how much time exactly it took them to do this Rubik's Cube, but I don't think they did. Either way, they are able to advance straight to the pit stop and finish in first place here, which, hey, good for them. Again, I'm just kind of glad we're starting to see some real competition, you know what I mean? As everyone else is finishing up at the bathhouse, after that they have to take a taxi to the next place, and this is where we're going to see Jag and Jazz have a really tough time hailing a cab. Again, I don't know exactly how much time it took them to finally get one, but it looked like they were just having no luck and getting refused everywhere until, as we see, they decide to put up their hoods to cover up their turbans. And after that, it looked like they were able to hail a cab pretty quickly, which is just making this more and more clear that this whole thing was just a prejudice issue. And apparently this was not just Jag and Jazz, because apparently Joseph and Adam had a similar issue with the cabs. Joseph had said that they were also having a lot of trouble getting directions and getting cabs, and that he actually had to go in the street and stand in front of a cab in order for it to stop for him. Again, I don't think the show necessarily showed how much time this took away from Jag and Jazz's game, but it did seem to take away a decent amount of time because they completely lost their lead after this. On top of that, we could see that they pretty much just avoided taxis altogether for the rest of this leg, instead opting to take the train and bus and other forms of public transportation, which is so heartbreaking to see, but also I can't say I blame them at all after what they experienced. I'm sure that this is not the first time at all that one of the contestants on the show had to deal with this or something similar to this, which is obviously really sad, but it's just an unfortunate reality of the world that we live in, And so I think that as much as it sucks, I actually do appreciate the fact that the show did decide to highlight this and just in general show a more negative but also more realistic side of world travel. The one bright spot in all this is later on when they showed that scene of them getting directions from that other Sikh man who they called brother. So that was just like a nice heartwarming moment in all of this ugliness. Next up is the Houdini thing, which was a pretty underwhelming challenge overall. Really the only interesting part was that Joseph and Adam end up breaking their key, so they have to get production to come in and give them a new box and all that stuff. Again, and this is probably like my biggest complaint about the show in general, I just really wish we had a better idea of how much time all of these challenges and hiccups and stuff like that are costing these people. Like, show how much time is actually elapsing, maybe even get a map and show where everybody's at and just how far some teams are away from the others, you know? Next up is the horse driving coaching thing, whatever it's called. And honestly, I was surprised that so many people struggle with this just as much as they did. But at the same time, I have been horseback riding before, and it seemed like the mechanisms were pretty similar overall, so I feel like I would be able to do a pretty good job at this one. But obviously not everybody does, okay? Because we see that Joseph is out there struggling a lot, okay? I mean, dude's horse doesn't want to move. He is out there running into stuff. I mean, it is all a hot mess for Joseph. Until Miss Taylor Hale walks in the door, of course.
Of course, when Taylor Hale shows up, Joseph gets to action.
Nah, he said I got a stun on my ex. Wait a minute now.
I loved how playful Adam was being here. I just thought he was so adorable. And for all you jailer fans out there, there's just a few little crumbs for y'all, okay? The next detour is the one where they have to choose between juggling or dancing. And right off the bat, I know that if I ever get the choice on this show, I am doing the dancing thing like no hesitation. Of course, it's going to be tricky. I'm not saying that any of them have ever been easy, but I feel like I could do some choreography now. This is the part where Hannah and Simone really shined over everybody. I mean, these girls are both trained professional dancers, so they were able to learn this choreography so freaking quick and just get it right there on the second try. On the flip side, Kat and Alex really seemed to struggle with this dancing thing, though. Even though Kat was also a professional dancer, it seemed like she was having trouble like getting the counts right or something like that. It also looked like her instructor may have not been the best. I don't know. But yeah, we just see Kat get increasingly frustrated and eventually start to break down a little bit. And eventually they are just not able to finish in enough time and are eliminated here. I was kind of sad to see them go. I mean, I thought they were really cute together and all of that, but unfortunately that is just the game. Meanwhile, over at the juggling competition, we see Joseph and Adam go to do that one, and it is just a hot ass mess from Joseph. I can't even lie. Like, this just was not his episode. I'm sorry, man. They end up taking 134 freaking tries to get this thing right. Like, I cannot imagine how many hours that must have been in one competition. Like, at what point do you switch? Honestly, at what point do you switch? Now, I don't want to hate too much because I have never been good at juggling. It's just like one of those weird things that I have never and probably will never be able to like get right in my head. Juggling and also whistling for me. So yeah, just unfortunately not great for Joseph, but you know what? Even with all of those attempts, they are still able to finish on time and not get eliminated, so good for them. When it was all said and done, Jack and Jazz end up coming in 5th place here, just way further back than where they've been pretty much the entire show so far, which on one hand, it was kind of refreshing to see other people take the lead, not gonna lie, but on the other hand, I know that they had to deal with all this racist bullshit in the background too, so it also really just doesn't seem fair, you know? I do want to give a special shout out to Izzy and Paige because they end up finishing 3rd in this episode, really impressing me. The show also just keeps on mentioning this little rivalry between Izzy and Jag over and over again, so I know they're just foreshadowing something. I can definitely feel a U-turn coming up soon in the air, and right now Izzy is ahead of Jag in the race, so that's not too good for them. And in 1st place this episode, we have Natalie and Stephanie finishing strong for the 2nd time in a row, even though they did actually earn it for themselves this time, no shade. These two really just continue to surprise me episode after episode though, so I'm excited to see what they're gonna do next too. So that's pretty much all I have for today, y'all. But of course, I want to know, what did you all think of this episode? And is there anybody who's like really surprising you on this show so far? Let me know in the comments below. Like I said before, Izzy and Paige are definitely surprising me. I'm so proud of them for getting third. Hopefully they continue to climb up. And Natalie and Stephanie too. Also very proud of those ladies. Of course, I'll be back right here to recap the next episode with you all. But until then, bye.